Hello, and welcome to the About Healing podcast, a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys, and who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I am your host, About Healing medium and certified spiritual healer, Cherie Buckman. It is my purpose to guide others to the path of self-healing and to inspire those on their spiritual journeys in finding their truths. Join me as I share my experience and unfiltered perspective in healing, as well as the incredible wisdom of the loving energy that guides us. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another amazing episode of About Healing podcast. Welcome, welcome. I really want to start this episode just immediately by drawing another card from the amazing Sacred Self-Care Oracle deck by Jill Pyle. So this week I drew Clean Your Space. Oh boy, isn't that just timing for spring cleaning? Sorry, everybody. This is what the universe is telling us today. So I'm going to go ahead and read out of the guidebook and share with you what this means. Giving yourself the gift of a clean space has a ripple effect. It allows more things in your life to fall into their rightful place. By clearing and cleaning your surroundings, you can also declutter your mind. Start with cleaning your bedroom and then work your way out to all corners of your home. Don't just stay on the surface. Take the time to clean inside cupboards and drawers, sort through old paperwork, and get rid of the dust bunnies. Also, review the objects you've collected and consider opportunities to donate or sell things you no longer need. As you minimize the number of belongings in your space, it will become easier to clean in the future. Notice how having a clean space makes you feel energetically clear. Create a routine that will allow you to keep it up. To start, it can be as simple as making your bed each morning and keeping an area like your desk organized. Let it grow from there. For anybody else who is loving the journal prompts, I will share it for this. It is, what cleaning project are you dreading and why? What support would you need to get this project finished?
Have you been enjoying our weekly card readings? Well, then we have a special deal for you. We've partnered with goddessprovisions.com as an affiliate to offer you a discount on all their fabulous products. Receive 10% off your minimum purchase of $25, which can also be applied to your first subscription box. Use code ABOUTHEALING to apply your discount and support the About Healing podcast.
So beautiful and wonderful with our theme, our energy, and where we're at today. Because, oh boy, everybody, with the shift of the spring equinox comes a change in the energy, offering a new transformation within each of us. To understand this adjustment and embrace it rather than fight against it, causing more dis-ease, I have invited my dear friend and astrologer back to guide us through the coming energy. Welcome back, Miss Tracey Couto.
Thank you, Cherie. It's so great to be here with you again.
You know, I had such a fun time recording our last episode earlier this season. And not only did I have fun recording with a dear friend of mine and hearing all of your wonderful insights, but there are some interesting pieces that I feel, even within my personal realm, that are kind of coming into fruition with the energy you had mentioned over winter. So, do you feel that with yourself? Did you feel any of that changes within yourself with that winter energy that you shared?
I sure did, Cherie. It was slow, like I said, because Jupiter was with Saturn and Saturn slows it down, but it was no less growth. It was still growth, but it was slow and just the way I needed it to be. So it was perfect and it was great.
I love hearing your patience in that and hearing that it was exactly what you needed. While I agree for myself personally, it was so frustrating how long it really took with that really slow energy of forcing myself to go so deep within And again, healing those inner layers and going through so many, again, that was meant for my higher good. It was all meant to be, but doesn't mean that I loved and enjoyed every minute of it. So I am so glad, and I'm really hoping you're gonna tell me that there's a shift with this energy, what's coming in the spring. So tell me what's happening.
Oh, okay. I'll start at the beginning because I will tell you, Cherie, there is so much awesome energy this spring. Everyone, get your calendars out because you're going to want to mark special days because there is just so much delicious goodness coming this spring. But okay, it all starts on today, March 19th, when the sun enters Aries. It's going to happen at 11:06 p.m. Eastern Time, and that marks the official beginning of spring. Now, Aries is a very prominent sign this year because it's the sign that the north node of the moon is in. Now, the north node is basically your path toward growth and the food that you need, so to speak, to promote that growth and the people and the emotional connections formed with them that feeds that growth. And Aries energy is fast, it's pioneering, it's assertive, it's all about brand new things, brand new projects. It's brave, it's courageous, it's spontaneous and impulsive. So you're just going to feel that burst of energy just to get these things started. So, collectively speaking, because the North Node, I mean, everyone has a North Node in their personal chart, but the North Node in the sky right now, it's the path of growth for all of us, and it involves cultivating a newly discovered piece of yourself and bringing it out into the world. Now, opposite that, we have the South Node. And the South Node is about releasing what you've already processed and don't need anymore. Now, the South Node is in the opposite sign to Aries, and it's in Libra. And Libra is about the relating with another person one on one. Libra is also charming, it's peaceful, it's harmonious, it's light and it's breezy and it's social. On March 25th, we get the lunar eclipse, and that's at 5 degrees of Libra. Now, with this lunar eclipse, it's all about finalizing things. In this case, with Libra, it could be about finalizing a relationship. It could be resolving the problems in that relationship so that you can grow further. And basically, it's about bringing things, energy to a fruition. So you might find that as you're finding new pieces of yourself with the North Node in Aries, that some of the relationships, the one-on-one relationships, like a bestie, like your best friend, or maybe a business partner or a marriage partner, maybe even a client, you might find that around this time that you might end the relationship, or certain parts of the relationship that weren't going so well might get resolved so that you can improve your relationship. But basically, the focus, mostly, people are always like, oh, you should focus on other people, not so much on yourself. But with this Aries energy, you kind of really do need to focus more on your own self because you have this brand new part of you that needs to come out and be born. So the week after that, on April 1st, April Fool's Day, Mercury goes retrograde. I don't know if any of you out there have heard about Mercury retrograde, but basically it's about our communications, talking to each other, our modes of communication, like for instance, our ways of getting around, like our cars, computers, phones, even our brains. There might be like a delay or something might break down or we might get misunderstood. Things go wonky, but there's a reason for that because it's a time when unresolved issues or problems need your attention, or you might have projects or endeavors that you want to begin. And this is basically the time that you want to research and gather new information so that you can put all those ideas that are coming through right now, because this is a time when all kind of ideas are going to come through. You want to take that time to process all that, and you don't really want to move on any of this right now. You kind of just want to sit with it, research, kind of review, and just go over the things that are coming through. But you don't want to miss any of it. So if ideas are coming through at this time, you're going to want to take note and put them down on paper. So then a week after that, on April 8th, that's when we have the solar eclipse. at 19 degrees of Aries at 2:21 p.m. Eastern. That's the exact time that it happens. Now, this is big energy. Eclipses are like new moons on steroids, basically. So it's you have this big energy and you want to begin and initiate brand new things pertaining to the house of the chart that of your chart that it falls in. And we'll go over that. I'll go over like real quick the different houses and what it means. So when you want to look at your own chart, or if you want to contact me to look at your chart, whatever the case, I can tell you more about it. But then you'll be able to know what area of your life that this new energy is going to really be focused and manifest in. So it's going to illuminate everything in that house, and it's going to be clearer, brighter, and it's going to be more magnified. And the matters of that house will demand your attention, and it's going to require some work. That's why the eclipse is happening there for you. So Mercury retrograde is part of that eclipse. So what you really want to pay attention to is all the information that's going to come through. So you're going to have flashes of insight at this time. You're going to get new solutions to problems. Your mental powers are going to be at their peak, like with, a few days after the eclipse. So that whole week, basically, April 8th, April, through April 11th, is a time for you to really like reel in all that energy and all those mental thoughts and messages that come through. Because if you're going to like form a new project or endeavor, that's going to be the information you're going to need. So, right now, like I say, even though it's all initiating and beginning energy, you're not going to want to rush in and act on any of it right now. You're just going to want to kind of like take note of the ideas that come through so that you can process and review and reflect and evaluate all of that in the coming weeks after that, like about 2 weeks. Then Mercury will go direct. Then you can move forward. But in the 2 weeks, between April 11th and April 25th, that's when you're just going to want to just gather information and put all the pieces together before you actually move forward with it. Okay, so the houses of your chart that the solar eclipse falls in. So if it's your first house, what you're really going to be focusing on is your personality, your self-image, your identity. It's basically you're going to find a whole new piece of yourself and you're going to really go forward with that. In the second house, the new energy is going to probably be money and possessions. Like you might buy a really big thing that you've always wanted, and or a new job. You might get like a new source of income. That could be what happens if it falls in your second house. In your third house, you might get a new neighbor, or you might have a new relative that you get closer with. And in your fourth house, you could get a new home, or a tighter bond with a particular family member. In your fifth house, you could start dating if you are in the market to date. You could have a child or think about having a child. Basically, it's about fun things. You might start a new pastime, get a new hobby going. You might have a new creative project you want to work on. In your sixth house, it's your work, the work that you do, your day to day tasks. And it's about health too. So you might actually start a new diet or a new exercise program. In your seventh house, that's your one to one relationships. So you might form a new business partnership, get a new best friend, get new clients, maybe even get married. In the eighth house, now that's about your partner's money or other people's money. So, like if you're going for a loan, you might get a loan, or investing, or maybe your partner gets a new job. It'll be something like that. Or maybe if you're in the market for a relationship, you might find your soulmate. That could happen with the eclipse in the eighth house. In the ninth house, that's about education, higher learning, publishing. Maybe you have a piece of writing that you want to publish. It could be long journeys, like to unfamiliar territory, like to a place that you've never been. In your 10th house, it could be a new career. You could get a new calling about your life purpose, a new boss, or you could become a boss. In your 11th house, it could be a whole new circle of friends. You could have a new hope or aspiration that you suddenly want to work on. And then you find the group that's like minded, and you find a bunch of kindred spirits to work on these aspirations with. And then your 12th house is kind of like your psychological closet. It's kind of like your spiritual warehouse where like all your past life information is kind of stored. Your connection with spirit happens there. So you might have a new connection with a new spirit guide that you didn't know you had. So that's the kind of thing that could happen with the eclipse in your 12th house. That's all with Aries season. And I could pause there if you have anything to say, Sherry. I know it's a lot.
I've got about a page of notes. I have taken just as many notes as as our listeners are. I am so into this. I'm absorbing, and yes, I have questions.
Okay,
Um,
shoot.
so so my one question I wanna go into is actually about the solar eclipse, the energy of a solar eclipse. For me personally, and I'm bringing this up because I would love more guidance or the shift, I can get really wonky during this big energy shift. And I feel like a lot of other people do too. Understanding a little bit more about this energy has helped me in trying to ride the wave rather than being completely pummeled by it.
Yes.
Right? So can you, like, guide or even if you're giving me the advice, I would love more advice on how to ride the wave rather than, of drowning, let's put it that way, in the big energy wave. How do we kinda stay above the waterline there?
Well, Cherie, the main thing is to remember, just keep in mind, Mercury is retrograde at this time. So, as much as I want to rush forward, I am just going to sit back with my notebook and my pen, and I am just going to write. So, instead of rushing in where fools, may dread, or whatever the saying is, what you're going to want to do is just sit with your pen and just write. Keep it within for now, because with Aries energy, you could be a little impulsive, and then you might do something that you could regret later. So you might want to just try to take things as slow as you can. Just breathe, maybe go out for a walk, just do anything but act on this thing right now. I know it's exciting and I know it's like, oh my God, I want to do it now. But because Mercury's retrograde, sometimes when Mercury's retrograde, it means that it won't go as you plan if you try and do it too soon. So just try and remember that patience will pay off. And if you wait, and you'll see when I get into like Taurus season and Gemini season, you're going to realize this is why I need to wait, because the energy that's going to happen then, that's going to be the time to manifest all that energy that's coming in now. But yeah, you do want to notice it. You do want to take note. You don't want to let it slide. You do want to kind of catch it, hold it, and save it for later, because later is when things really start to cook.
So, did you and Copper talk about this and in a way to tease me and tell me to slow my roll for a minute? Because Copper tells me this all the time. So I feel like you guys have probably had a side discussion. How can we tell Cherie to slow her roll?
Just tell her Mercury's retrograde and to just calm down and wait.
No, because what you said was perfect advice for me, at least for me personally. I'm sure for a lot of people, because I can be very impulsive when big energy comes in. And I think that that's probably what I needed to hear right there is slow it for a second, hold on to it, which is really hard for me. When I get really excited, I want to go 100 miles an hour with it. Oh, I got to go slow myself down again. And there it is, that self control.
Because you have to remember, Cherie, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Wait till I tell you what's coming.
Oh
Okay.
my.
So
Okay, let's go.
okay, I'll get right into Taurus season. Taurus season starts April 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Now, Taurus energy, it's more slow. So see, if you wait, you'll get to the Taurus energy and it'll slow your roll. It'll help you slow
Okay.
down. It'll make everything stable, solid, more concrete. It'll be like more long lasting. And it's basically, Taurus is about your sensuality, it's your pleasures, it's your comfort seeking, and it's financial security. So it's about the things that bring you pleasure and comfort and having the money to do so. So Taurus season opens with a conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus at 21 degrees Taurus. Now, Jupiter is optimistic, it's expansive, it's adventurous, it's generous, it's lucky, it's bold, it's risk taking, it's growth. It gives you the opportunities for success, abundance, it's confident and positive. So, see, you really want to wait for this, Sherry. You want to wait for Jupiter.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that support system.
Yes. And then Uranus, now Uranus, it's erratic, it's unpredictable. Now you're going to probably relate with this, Cherie, because Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, which you are. So everything I'm about to say about Uranus, you are probably going to say that's me.
Mhm.
So Uranus, as I was saying, is erratic, it's unpredictable, it's rebellious, it's shocking, it's sudden reversals, last minute changes. It's the mad professor, it's the genius, it's the unique individual. It gets you out of ruts, sets you free, it's liberation. Now, you put Jupiter and Uranus together, and you could have a sudden windfall. That's, money coming out of the sky, basically. It could be like you win the lottery. It could be a promotion. It could be an encounter with that person who's beneficial to you. It's, the bravery, it's the optimism to break away from anyone or anything that's kept you from being you. You could go back to school and get your degree. So basically, it's all about being open to the new possibilities because change is underway. We are changing. And that's why these new pieces of the Aries season, this North Node in Aries, we're becoming new. So we're all these changes are happening because brand new things, brand new energy is ushering in. So see, Cherie, if you can wait till then, you'll have much better luck for everything to manifest the way you're hoping.
Oh boy. Okay. I waited this long.
Yeah.
I kind of like that whole energy though. Let's wait for the energy. But I see that's what I love hearing about this because again, that Uranus energy that I'm ruled by, that very erratic, and I change very easily and quickly.
Also around, like, right around the time that this energy is going to be manifesting, then Mercury will be moving direct on April 25th. Then you can move forward. Then you can see, because you almost have to wait for this Jupiter Uranus conjunction to happen. So you want to wait for that because that's going to be the piece that you're waiting for. That's It's going to like pretty much fall out of the sky. It's going to be so sudden. You're going to be like, haha, that's what I need. Now I can move forward. See, if you tried to move forward before this piece, it probably wouldn't have been as wonderful as you hoped. So it pays to wait. Good things come to those who wait. So come on, Sherry, wait.
I know. And for anybody out there who's just as impulsive and especially when it's the work. I think in a lot of other avenues, I'm very patient, but for some reason, when this big energy, when you feel something so intently and so passionately, it's
Yeah.
really hard to, I guess, slow your roll. But I love sharing this because what a great piece. I feel like this personal piece of wanting to share this for those of you who do struggle in that. Hearing this and having people like Tracy who know you intimately and know your chart and know these pieces, also a great reminder of telling you that some of these pieces are really knowing that it's a part of your personality. It's written in the stars. It's all a part of who we are supposed to be and all of these impulses or in these again, perfectly imperfect pieces about ourselves. But that is what's creating that big magic within us. That is what's creating, again, creating the purpose and the path that we're wanting to go on, where we're manifesting. But there is timing for everything, which is why, like in the previous episode, what Tracy was sharing, that it's like those times when we're pushing so hard for something, but we keep getting like pushed back down and nothing's working because the timing isn't right. The energy isn't right to support us in this. And so, which is a big reason why Tracy, I love that she talks to me directly about that. And I'm open because I want other people to hear that, these are the challenges that we go through. And that if I wait a minute, in this beautiful, big, purposeful work, something that I'm extremely passionate about, and I have a fire just burning inside of me to do so much to help so many, but if I wait a minute and let the universe kind of, while I keep creating and putting the thoughts and manifesting it out there, that the universe itself and the energy behind it will come and grab it and then naturally push it up to exactly where it's meant to be, even if it's not the way that I thought it would be. We're going to allow it to guide us into sometimes even better versions of what we could have ever imagined possible
and
there.
then And then there's more. Okay, now there's more. If you think all that's great, wait until Gemini season. That begins May 20th. May 20th is Gemini season, starts at 8:59 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, before I get into what Gemini is about, we have one more aspect with Jupiter while it's still in Taurus at the 29th degree. Now, the 29th degree is like very powerful because Jupiter has gone through the whole sign of Taurus, and now the 29th degree is the last sign. So it's gathered all that Taurus energy for like the last year. And now it's going to form a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. Now, Neptune in Pisces also at the 29th degree of that sign. Now, Neptune moves a lot slower. So Neptune's been gathering this energy in Pisces for about 12 years. So pretty much in Neptune, it's all about unconditional love. It's super psychic, it's spiritual, it's imaginative, it's dreamy, it dissolves boundaries. Basically, there's no difference between you, me, and them, the present, past, and future. It's the muse for your creative projects, your writing, music, arts, crafts. That is basically Neptune energy. In Pisces, it's the same energy as Neptune, since Neptune's the planet that rules that sign. But it's pretty much about expanded consciousness, transcending the ego, even this plane. It's spiritual awakening. It's the tendency toward withdrawal and introspection. So you put these two harmonious energies together and you blend it, and what you have is your belief in miracles and having the optimism and the opportunities to make them real. It's a powerful instrument toward making your dreams come true. You might feel the urge to learn more about metaphysics, spiritual teachings, or you might take classes to expand your knowledge of your craft, whether it be writing or music or art, whatever that might be, or like what we're doing here with the psychic work. So, I mean, you might even learn about meditation, hypnosis, shamanic journeys. You might take one of those during this time and you'll have great success with it. Past life regressions, even. All of this is to learn more about you. It is phenomenal.
This, like, belief in miracles,
Yes, it's
that energy
beautiful.
is
If you were to sum it up
beautiful.
in one word,
Wow.
yeah, it's beautiful. So Gemini, because this is Gemini season, Gemini energy is quick, it's curious, it's sociable, it's adaptable, it can be inconsistent because it wants to get into everything all at once. It's fond of games. It's light. It's breezy. It goes into the mental exploration and it loves to communicate. So this is like your sign that like just chats with everyone and shares what it knows. Now Jupiter is going to enter Gemini on May 25th at 7:15 p.m. Now when I say these exact times, the energy usually builds up to that, but the times and days that I'm saying is when it's exact. But usually energy, you can feel it coming beforehand. So Jupiter in Gemini now, all that expansive, abundant, positive energy, it's going to happen in a more diverse way. It's going to be more into different things. So you won't just be focused on one thing to learn. You'll be wanting to learn like everything about that one area, everything there is to know. So the biggest, biggest aspect that happens with Jupiter this spring on June 2nd at 8:13 p.m. Eastern Time, it's going to form a trine to Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is powerful, it's persuasive, it's pretty much life, death, and rebirth. It's your transformation, it's evolution. It's going to take away everything that's excess baggage and leaves you with everything that's really you. And Aquarius is freedom loving, it's eccentric, it's mentally active, it values friendship, it's progressive, and it can be a little bit rebellious. It wants to do things its own way. So you put all that together in a harmonious way, and you have the capability to get anything you want. You have the power of influence to spread the word to the masses about anything you believe strongly in. You'll have the skill and the knowledge to talk anyone into anything. It'll be easier to rise to the top and take charge. This could mean wealth, and I'm talking like millionaire aspect. Like Cherie, I think I had told you once that you have a Jupiter Pluto sextile. I have the trine in my chart. So this would be the time to put that energy on the map and put it into motion. Whatever you start now at that time, June 2nd, could be a huge success. So if you have investments, a business you want to start, fundraising, I mean, some people might even get an inheritance, or if you have a lawsuit going on, you could win the lawsuit at that time. But yeah, that is like the biggest, best energy ever. And then you're going to see within the weeks after that, you're going to see big things. So this spring, everyone, you need to get your dreams and get all your projects and get all your ducks in a row, because this is the time to make it happen.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Okay. Like, this is really big. So let me ask you, how often do we have these big, exciting seasons like this? Because this feels, let's put it this way. I feel over the past few years and all of the shifts we've been going on, while they have been transformative and really big, it kind of feels kind of heavy. Would you say that is this season a lot different than we've been seeing lately?
It is. Now, eclipses happen twice a year, but it's only going to happen in these particular signs like once every 19 years. Because that's the cycles that the North Node travels in. It's a 19-year cycle. So it's going to go through the signs like every year and a half. Jupiter is the same way. It'll go through a sign every year. So when Jupiter comes to Gemini, it hasn't been in Gemini for 12 years. So, I mean, it might form an aspect to Pluto in that time, but it's not going to be that often because it's a 12-year cycle. So, yeah, the way these energies are manifesting, they don't happen too often. So you're going to want to grab them while I mean, a spring like this with all these aspects that I mentioned, yeah, you're not going to have this combination of planets come together this way probably ever again in quite this way. So yeah, you're going to want to strike while the iron is hot. And this spring, the iron is hot.
Oh my, like fire, volcano hot. Holy moly.
Yes, I'm telling you, Sherry, this is when I'm going to restart my business. This is why I think I've been waiting so long, because I've been waiting for this right here.
It gives me chills all the way up and down. So, yes, everybody, just as Tracy said, this is amazing. Okay, so we are just entering the season. That's great. What are those dreams and those big, beautiful things that you have been sitting on? What are those plans? What are those desires? What are you trying to manifest for yourself? I mean, now is the time to really start thinking about it and journaling it. And like Tracy said, there is time. There's time because that big piece of that manifestation is coming towards the end of the season. So, here in this beginning time is putting your plans, putting it down on paper. Really think about what it is you're trying to do. And within this, too, and while you're planning this, it does require action. Always remember that manifestation isn't just about praying and wishing, but we also have to make those beautiful, uncomfortable steps outside of our comfort zone,
Yes.
right? Tracy
Oh,
knows.
yes. I've been living it too.
That's how we see that big growth. It's kind of like the only way to invest or the only way to see that big reward is by doing the crazy investment in yourself too, which means stepping outside those comfort zones of doing the things that you feared, of again, that vulnerability. That's probably one of the scariest things that we'll ever talk about. But remember, the universe is there and wants to support you. And while maybe you have struggled for a long time in trying to manifest or create this dream of yours, well, it sounds like the stars are aligning and creating that time and space where it will really take off. So dust off those old plans. Dare to stand up again and try again because maybe you have fallen a lot over and over again, hearing the no's. But one day, as long as you keep believing in it and keep believing in your dreams and daring to make a fool of yourself over again, I do it all the time. You guys have heard it here. It's okay because we're all human and we all understand that we have this passion and when we have this love and this excitement and this fire within us, sometimes we'll do just about anything to create that. So don't let yourself down by not taking advantage of it because this is kind of like I want to say ultimate sacrifice. It's not like that, but I don't know why because I keep seeing volcano energy is what I'm seeing. And so I have to drop this big, beautiful idea in this volcano energy and just to see what it creates as if this magic, right? So let's look at it that way. Have the faith and have this beautiful energy that surrounds it all. Put it out there and let's see what we create and manifest this season. And honestly, at the end of the season, I would love if you could please share your stories. I would love to hear if anything big happened to you by the end of this before we begin that summer season. So please share. And in the meantime, for everybody else, if you would like to know what house, that your eclipse is falling in, or to book your own personal chart reading with Tracy, I am telling you it's worth it. I have learned so much. And as you can tell from this information, she knows her stuff. This is wonderful and beautiful. So you can reach her at her email at guidinglightastrology0411 or you can find her on Facebook at Guiding Light Astrology. It is beautiful. Again, we'll have the links and that information in the notes for the episode. You can always email me and ask me for her information. I would be more than happy to share that. So, and until next time, you beautiful, amazing, bright souls, be kind to yourself. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at abouthealingmedium.com. You can also follow About Healing Medium on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find the episode's healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask a question or to share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to reach me on Facebook and Instagram at About Healing Medium. Until next time, be kind to yourself.